I was 6 years old when my mother died from lung cancer. Besides sharing the same name, I'm told we had a lot in common. She was a terrible cook. One time, she unintentionally served an all-white meal at a dinner party. How is that even possible? What did she serve? Fettuccine Alfredo, mashed potatoes, and cauliflower? My mom spoke up for and got involved with issues that mattered to her. She advocated in the schools for my older special needs brother before Asperger's was widely known. And she started an after-school program called Milk and Cookies to support working parents, a program that my youngest brother utilized after her death. She was no frills and didn't care much for clothes or makeup. For the wake, she was outfitted in a gaudy blue dress, about which my uncle said she'd likely fret, "What the F is this?" She loved sports, something that none of her children inherited. She played volleyball in college and was a die-hard Yankees fan. So much so that she would call sports radio shows and talk smack with the hosts. I, on the other hand, can't tell you who won the World Series this year. And when one of my colleagues referenced Brian Urlacher, I attempted to look him up in our company directory. My mother left 4 children, ages 3, 6, 10, and 12. The story of our mother's death has always been about our loss and how we coped with her absence. I never thought about what my mother lost until I became a mom myself. My mom missed 2 weddings, 2 fear experiments, 3 grandbaby births, 10 graduations, 25 Christmases, and 100 birthdays. What was that like for her? The months between her terminal diagnosis and her death. How did she grieve? How did she deal with that knowledge that she was going to miss out on so much? What I want most of all is to watch my child grow up, to be there for every moment and every milestone. When I was pregnant with my daughter Vivian, my oldest sister Rosemary, who has 2 kids of her own, said, "Having kids made me realize just how much time Mom had with us. You'll see, there's so much that happens in those first few years. They are some of the most transformational to witness. It's crazy to think our kids will never remember any of it." When Vivian came into this world, I loved her right away, and would often cry out of the love I felt for her and the realization that my mom must have loved me just as much. Every experience I have with Vivian is one I imagine my mom having with me. Singing lullabies, mirroring coos and babbles, counting fingers and toes. I have limited memories of my mom. I try to recreate what I do remember with Vivian. I used to hate having my hair brushed. My mom would sit at the edge of my bed, and I would sit on the floor between her legs. "I'll brush your hair softly like a rainbow," she'd say. So I'd let her. That's what I say to Vivian now, although "I'll brush it like Rapunzel" is more effective with her. Like most kids in the 80s, I loved Raffi, and my mom took me to see him in concert. When I was a newborn, I'd rock her in my arms while watching Raffi. I need a tissue. Like most kids in the 80s, I loved Raffi, and my mom took me to see him in concert. When Vivian was a newborn, I'd rock her in my arms while watching Raffi concerts on YouTube, and I'd sing for hours. Down by the bay, where the watermelon grow, back to my home, I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, "Did you ever see a goose kissing a moose down by the bay My sister and I are blessed to have the chance to recreate that bond between parent and child and experience it from the other side. My brother Danny has no memory of our mom. He was 3.5 years old, the same age that Vivian is today. I want my brother to know that even though he can't remember our mom, that they had significant time together, however short. She cuddled, fed, bathed, diapered, and loved him. She watched him grow from a shriveled little raisin to a blonde, dimpled toddler. She took him to Disney World for the first time. She comforted him twice in the emergency room for injuries inflicted by his older sister. As a mom, I know she wishes she was there for the rest of it. To protect you from the throw-up potions your big sisters made you drink. To make your Halloween costumes and take you trick-or-treating so you wouldn't have to go alone. To help you find hope in your moments of darkness. To tell you she was proud of you when you came out to our family. To eat your famous key lime pies and to meet your partner Brian. And that's what I wish for too. Since Viv was born, I have already witnessed so much, but it never feels like enough. I want the best for my daughter. I want her to learn and grow and find success on her own terms. But what I want most of all is what my mother never got. Mom, I need to tell you about Vivian. How can I even begin to describe her to you? You would love her. She's smart and sweet and beautiful and funny. She likes to do things her own way, but she doesn't like to do them alone. She has these amazing, big, expressive eyes, and her favorite color is pink with sparkles. She's confident and courageous, but can be hard on herself when she can't do something right away. She's a total goof with her naked dance and the way she likes to creep on people and scare them. And like her father, she appreciates a good poop joke. She's communal. She claps for and shares another's joy. And she loves to dance, in a crowd or in a pair. She's pretty dramatic, and she does this hilarious emotional dance with her eyes closed, swaying back and forth when the music is playing, serious music. As a child, I cried when babysitters came over. So my mom would kiss a piece of paper with her lipstick lips, leaving a pink impression behind, so that I would have this transitional object to hang on to when she was gone. Vivian is much more independent than I was. She is just fine leaving me when she has school or when babysitters come over. Bye, Mom, she'll say. You can go to storytelling class now, shoving me out the door. I'm never worried about Vivian when I leave her. I worry about what I'll miss.